Welcome back to What is Anne Eating Today? Well, it's dinner time and I'm not super hungry because I had a big lunch. I went out to lunch. So I'm just going to make, and it's really as quick and easy, delicious, gluten-free mushroom soup. And it's not expensive either. So what you need are about 2 packages of mushrooms of your choice. I've got sliced baby Bella because these were buy one, get one free. So I'm going to use maybe 1.5 of these. I'm going to wash them, rinse them off, and pat them dry. So make sure your mushrooms are rinsed and dried off and not mushy. You're going to need a half of I use a sweet onion, or more of a sweet onion to your taste. So chop up half a sweet onion. I've got organic thyme to your taste. Put a little bit in and then taste it because you can always add more and you can't take it out. Same for salt, which definitely we need salt and lots of cracked black pepper, a half a stick of butter, not margarine, butter. I've got olive oil, a little bit of olive oil. And you can use milk, but I'm going to use half and half because I want a creamier soup. And I've got some tapioca flour that I like to use, some vegetable broth, really any broth will do, and maybe 2 cups of this. And I've got some fresh parsley. I'm going to snip into it when it's done. And I've got a couple of garlic cloves that I'm just going to mash and throw in while the onions are cooking. And then when it's done, I'll take those big cloves out, but I think it gives it a nice flavor. And the other important thing you need is an immersion blender, or you're gonna have to pour it in something, blend it up, or chop up the mushrooms first. But I like to use an immersion blender because I like a creamy mushroom soup. So that's the first step, is to saute the garlic and the onions. Don't burn it, like I wind up burning my garlic. Nothing tastes worse than burnt garlic. And then I got to start all over again. So saute until they're nice and translucent, and then have your mushrooms ready to go next. They're rinsed and dried. So the onions and garlic are sauteing nicely, and I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the thyme to the butter, olive oil, onion, and garlic, and let that kind of flavor the oil and the butter. All the ingredients in this are so healthy. We all know mushrooms are the new superfood. They're healthy. Tapioca flour, grain-free, olive oil's good for you, butter's good for you. I don't believe in a low-fat diet. The herbs are good for you, and it's so delicious. So just let these saute. Don't let them get burnt and brown. And then you can cut the mushrooms up, but I'm going to be using that immersion blender, so I'm going to mash them in my beautiful mom's beautiful Dutch oven that I love to cook in so much. But you can cut them up, maybe make it a little easier. But I'm just gonna go ahead and throw them in because these are sliced. Stir it around and saute until the mushrooms are soft. I'm gonna add a little more olive oil and turn the heat up just a bit. And use a Dutch oven or cast iron skillet or something like that. And if I had some wine, I'd be drinking it while I was cooking this dinner, but I don't. Well, and while they're sauteing, go ahead and maybe about 2 cups, and you can keep adding liquid and make it whatever consistency you like. I like a creamy, not watery, and not too thick, just in between. It has to be just right, like Goldilocks. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of the tapioca flour in here. And I'm going to mix the flour. Oops. And I've done it both ways, but I think this comes out a little better. So I'm just going to mix the flour into the broth. Oops. Better make sure nobody's burning. This smells good too. I mean, and you can make this mushroom soup and have it as a dinner or before dinner or a lunch. Or you could even save some like I do and pour it over chicken and bake it and make a nice creamy chicken mushroom casserole. I always try to get 2 meals out of everything I cook. That is one thing I definitely do because I do work full time, so it's important that I can get meals prepared in a decent amount of time. But I'd rather make my own, than go out to dinner and all that and wonder what's in the food. This way I know what's in the food. And continue to saute until the mushrooms are nice and tender. I'm going to have to add a little more olive oil. I think just a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of salt at this point too. Really just a pinch, and this smells so good. Yeah, so saute the mushrooms until they're nice and tender. So that probably took about 6 minutes, and I was standing here stirring them and just doing odds and ends, but keeping an eye on it. And now I'm going to add a little bit, or not a little bit, maybe half a cup or so. But what you want to do is scrape the bottom so you get all that delicious caramelized onion flavor scraped off the bottom. So definitely scrape the bottom when you're stirring. So I put in that little bit, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil, add a little more while it's boiling. It shouldn't, I've never had it get lumpy like regular flour. You're gonna have to turn the temperature up at this point, but definitely keep an eye on it. And we're gonna add pepper, lots of pepper for me. In fact, my friend calls this my pepper soup, not mushroom soup. I don't want to go that far today. Let it come to a bubble. So this will make about 4 to 6 servings, medium to large servings. And then I've got my fresh parsley, which I love to always snip it into almost everything that it blends with. I'm not going to put it all in now, but I'm going to start. So this whole soup for 4 to 6 servings maybe is going to cost $6 max with the butter, the oil, a little bit of flour, tiny bit of cream. The broth was buy one, get one free, and so were the mushrooms. So it's an economical little meal too. Now it's bubbling and it's kind of thick. I might have to add more broth when I'm done, but I do want it to have some thickness. So before I add the extra broth, I'm gonna pour it all in. And I do like to use the emulsion blender, but if you chop your mushrooms up really small, that's still a really great soup. I just want it creamy with a few pieces. So bring it to a bubble. So I've got 2 cups, maybe 2 tablespoons of the tapioca flour. This is what I make the cheesy bread puffs with too. And that might be a nice accompaniment with this soup. So now it's bubbling away. I'm going to let it get a little bit thicker while I put some more parsley in. And I'm going to say it's at a very low boil, but I don't want it sticking. And then I'll add some parsley at the end. And now I'm going to add a little bit of this half and half. I don't know how much. Half a cup, maybe a little more. Measuring is not my forte unless it's mayonnaise or some kind of emulsion. This is going to be so good. So I'm going to let it simmer for about 15 or 20 minutes, on a very low heat, and then enjoy this delicious light dinner, light lunch, or soup before a big dinner, or soup just to have on hand to make other dishes with. I think I'll add a little more thyme, and then just taste it as you're going along. I'm going to add a little more thyme, not too much. I'll add salt after I taste it and pepper after I taste it. And there you have it. So it took about 15 minutes, and then it needs to simmer while you can relax and then enjoy. Thanks for watching. I hope that is helpful.